class right off the bat, so that's my disclaimer. You guys are just going to have to put up with me. I managed the Stewart Ranch, which has been in my family since 1868. We ranch on both sides of I-35. We ranch in Jefferson and Stevens County in western Oklahoma, in Bryan and Atoka counties in eastern Oklahoma, and it is night and day on both sides. Today I'm just going to talk about the ranch in Jefferson County. We're very diverse. We have a cow-calf operation, and we calve February, March, as well as September and October. We run yearlings. We have a quarter horse operation. We show horses, and we have a breeding herd of mares. We also have a wildlife and hunting operation. We hunt dang near all year long. We hunt deer on both sides of the interstate. We have turkey. We have Rio Grande as well as the eastern. We also have waterfowl and geese in Jefferson County. We hunt pigs all year long. So we're always busy. Somebody asked me about downtime, and I'm not really sure when that is, but maybe we'll find that. Anyway, cropland. Jim asked me to mention to you about our cropland. When we came over to Jefferson County, it had all been tilled. Basically, everybody in Jefferson County believes that you cannot no-till, because I'm sure there was a lot of comment, Terry, you are the dumbest person on the entire earth. Maybe so. But anyway, in 2009, I'd been looking at no-till, but was still reluctant to do it. I'm a native grass rancher, period. I do not know anything about farming, so let's clarify that right off the bat also. Cows, horses, and grass, I can handle it. But I watched our tanks. We are also surface water dependent in our country. We have no groundwater, all right? So this creates a lot of limitations on what we're going to do. I am not a farmer, but I have responsible for about 3,500 acres of crop ground, okay? So therefore, we've tilled it, we put it into wheat, we raise, our spring calves go to wheat, we sell them off wheat, I run a lot of pairs on wheat, we run a replacement heifers on wheat, all is good. 2009, I had the man that was helping me with the farming, he had a heart attack. And I thought, okay, this might be the year to switch. So, cold turkey, whole cotton picking ranch. I sell the tractor and buy a no-till drill. And we no-tilled everything. November 5th, I had my calves on wheat and had 8 inches of wheat. And I thought I was the smartest person in Oklahoma. It was a great year, phenomenal. And then 2010 rolled around. Things started getting dry. 2010 wasn't as bad, but it wasn't as good as it was. Then comes 2011. Well, we're running out of water. Not only our grass wasn't our limiting factor that year, it became tank water, and it was going fast. What tanks we did have were drying up or too boggy to put cattle in. My point being in all this is probably since we started to no-till, I've had the worst conditions known to man on trying to do something like this. We are a straight grazing operation, so you can imagine the compaction I have. In 2007, we'd actually bought a disc ripper and ripped the entire country trying to get our compaction broken up. And probably it worked for a little bit, but it didn't solve our problems. 2013, Keith, I think was the first year we decided to try to do some cover crops. Actually had a little moisture in the ground and thought it would work. I have at this point in time I own a drill but don't own a tractor, and I had a gentleman that was going to help me get everything farmed. Talked with Jim Johnson, who's been instrumental in helping us no-till, and also Keith, and we decided to do some cover crops. Actually had a field day, I think, at the ranch that year, and we dug down and we got roots going sideways and all which ways, so we definitely have compaction problems, and so we will address that as we go on. I am a firm believer in the no-till. I believe it will work. I think we've had really extreme conditions to try to get started. I've really enjoyed hearing what everybody says today. It's gotten me excited about what we can and can't do. I think as a grazing-only operation, I'm a little bit challenged, more challenged, because if I see grass, like John, that stuff you had laying down up there, it was driving me nuts. You need cows. So that is part of my problem, and what I've got to work through is the residue issue. I'd like to see cows eat it. So I've got some issues that I've got to work with also as far as our operation. And I know we have challenges probably that a lot of you don't have. But I think for me, we did some more cover crops this year. We got into a too wet situation this year. For instance, we're in a give or take 35-inch rainfall area in Jefferson County, what they say is normal, which I don't know what that means. But we had over close to 50 inches this year. In Bryan and Atoka counties, 80 inches of rain this year. We deal with drought a whole lot better than we deal with too wet, and way better. I mean, to be honest with you, in my opinion, the challenges of too wet are greater than the challenges of too dry. Had grass as tall as I was, and it wasn't worth anything. I mean, we grow a lot of forage, and which is one reason I felt like the no-till would work so well for us, because, as I mentioned before, we're surface water dependent. Well, we weren't running water off because we had enough forage to keep that water from running into the tanks in a lot of ways. So it was one of those dadgum catch-22s, you know, you're growing grass and you stop the runoff, which is what you're supposed to do. But you know what? I need water in those tanks. So we actually needed a rain like we got this spring to fill up our tanks. I think Warika Lake was at 10 or 15%. I'm talking drinking water, people. It was getting bad. But those are some challenges that we've had. I know most of you don't, but I'm a firm believer. I think the no-till is good. I need a lot more information on the cover crops. We are going to be users of them. My problem right now is probably the cost, and I think there are ways to work through that. I would like and I appreciated your comments too, very, very much so. I would like to work through some of the ideas, because my goals would be to not have to run the fertilizer truck, to not have to run that spray truck. I want to eliminate those kind of costs to our operation. My grandson was born, he's always about 6, how old is he now? 14, 15 months. That's the 6th generation on our ranch. And for me to leave this place in a much better way than what I found it is a big goal of mine. And I believe we can do it this way. And I'm hearing that today, and it certainly is encouraging.